Hello friends, we are going to talk about a very relevant issue today. How do you overcome breakups? If you ask any adult who has gone through their adolescent phase and adulthood, have you gone through this issue? They would obviously say yes. I have gone through it personally. But if I look back, I praise God for the lessons I learned through it and how God restored me through the events. So today I'm going to share with you some of the tips about these rejections and failure in relationships. I'm talking especially in the context of dating, that is having a boyfriend or girlfriend in a romantic sense. Let me ask you a question. Why do we all long for a relationship? It's because God created us to have a relationship with Him and with one another. Do you remember I told you all of us have been created in the image of God? So the primary goal or purpose of creating a human being on this earth is to have a relationship with the Creator. The relationship between the Creator and the creature, that is us, it's ultimate relationship. And God also created man and woman in Garden of Eden, and He sanctified that relationship through marriage. And that is one of the divine relationships that God has ordained. But we don't live in the perfect world, right? We live in the sinful world. So that's why this heartache and rejections and failures and things like that. If I can tell you, there are three things that primarily are the reason for having breakups in the relationship. One, the sin. So why do I say that? We must always remember that even if you have received Jesus Christ and we are saved sinners and being perfected in God every day. So when a man and a woman come together in a relationship, there is always imperfection exists because we are broken people and we are sinful people. So whenever there is a misunderstanding happen between each other, we tend to blame each other. So you remember what happened in Garden of Eden? How Adam and Eve were blaming each other? Eve ate the fruit and gave it to Adam. When God came and asked Adam, Adam said Eve gave it to him. When God asked Eve, and Eve said, serpent deceived me, so I ate it. So that is a sort of a blaming game. When we are in a relationship, man and a woman, we are imperfect people and we tend to have this blaming game because of sin that is existing in us. Second thing I can think of is, most of us end up in having a wrong relationship. So we live in this false world. We want super fast trains, super fast cars, super fast internet, super fast food. So we just can't wait for anything. Very often in the college, we feel embarrassed to say that, oh, I have no boyfriend or girlfriend. You understand what I'm saying? It's almost like a fashion or a trend to say that, oh, that's my girl or that's my guy. And if you do not have one, you don't actually fit into the gang or the group among those who actually have boyfriends or girlfriends and things like that. So you often end up in having a relationship just for the sake of it, and you later you ruin your life because of that. And third thing could be a lot of other issues like cultural barriers, language issues, ego, economic status, and you're not really compatible with each other because of many other worldly reasons. But when we have this kind of breakups, what are the usual responses? Have you thought about it? First is anger. So you get anger towards the other person, with yourself, with your circumstances, with your family or with her family and so on. Second thing could be you should sort of withdraw yourself from the society. You don't want to engage in conversations with anyone, you don't want to go outside, you don't want to go to school or you don't want to go to college, you don't want to go to any social gathering. And third thing could be you want to medicate or get addicted to something so that you would be able to forget the past. You get addicted to alcohol, tobacco, smoking, pornography and things like that. Fourthly, self-hatred or self-harm. So you want to cut your body or you want to afflict your body You get sort of satisfaction through that. To the extent that committing suicide or ending your life. Lastly, it could be also something positive response. You want to develop yourself. You sort of want to do nice hairstyle or makeups, and you want to have new clothes, and you want to become a little more fashionable and trendy so that you can impress another person now, and you want to fall in another relationship. These are the usual worldly responses to any breakups that we often encounter. But where does all this begin? Have you thought about this? You need to understand what went wrong. Over a period of time, you started idolizing your girlfriend or boyfriend. Because of our society and the movies that we watch, there are so much influences in us. We think she or he is your life, oxygen, life support, your reason for existence. I was born for you. You were born for me. And there is no limit to the poetry that results in such situations. While we may say that we are admiring the person, in reality, what has actually happened is that, wow, she's become your God now. You actually end up in worshipping that person, and you've forgotten everything about yourself. You've forgotten your spiritual life. You've forgotten your family. All that you can think of is just to admire that person, trying to please through all means. That is what actually had happened, and it became so difficult for us to just get rid of this relationship, and it hurts us so much. I'm going to give you 10 tips on how you can actually deal with it very positively when you have breakups. First, you must think that it's okay to feel bad, and it's okay to feel sad. You must be hurt. You feel rejected. You feel you are a failure. But it's okay to feel like that. If you really want to cry, just cry out and vent to yourself. That's number one thing. But second thing you must remember is that you must know that God knows what you go through. You may think that no one understands what you're going through. Who can understand my pain? But let me tell you, God understands the hurt of broken relationship. Can you believe that? When Adam and Eve sinned, God had so much close relationship with them. But they sinned, and God had to send them out, and God felt sorry about it. Jesus also suffered from broken relationship. He was rejected by the community he grew up. He was betrayed by Judas, one of his closest followers. He was abandoned by the disciples and denied by Peter in the final hours of his life. He was crucified on the cross by the people who he came to save. Is there anyone who can understand betrayal better than Jesus? The Bible tells us Jesus can actually empathize with us. Hebrews 4:15 we read like this: For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weakness, but the one who is in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. Because Jesus also was in human form. He understands our pain, our suffering. God understands what you're going through. Third thing you must be doing is to find a mentor or a friend with whom you can share all your past and get some advice. Probably a spiritual guide, probably somebody senior. You should be sharing everything that has happened, and so that they would be able to monitor and see how you are doing in terms of your spiritual relationship, in terms of how you are able to overcome your past. Fourthly, we are worthy in front of God. God created us, isn't it? He has created us a unique, talented person. We are so precious to Him. He accepts us in spite of our failures, mistakes, imperfections. We are made worthy because of Jesus' perfection. Not because we are perfect, not because we are holy, but because of Jesus' perfection, we are able to stand worthy in front of God. And that is our identity. The world may tell you that you are a failure. The world may tell you you are such a useless or worthless person. But we are worthy in front of our God because what Jesus has done for us. Next thing is that find joy and satisfaction in Jesus. As I said, we are all sinful in the sinful world. No relationship in the world is perfect, whether it's between husband and wife, mother and child. But the only relationship that we can trust is between us and God. He has restored our relationship with God even though we are broken people. Jesus knows that we need to be loved. He loves us unconditionally. He doesn't think who you are and what you are. He accepts us just as who we are. And He has promised that He will never leave us. He transforms our thoughts and instills us the joy that is shaken not by any circumstances. He equips us so that we can be strong and face hardships. And the ultimate joy and satisfaction and the peace that surpasses all understanding can only be found in Jesus Christ. It is not in your boyfriend. It is not in your girlfriend. It is not in your tobacco or alcohol or pornography. Sixth thing is to forgive the other person and yourself. The most step in the healing process is to forgive. You may think the person has committed something or ditched you to the extent that you can never forgive that person. But you have received the forgiveness from Jesus Christ. And God tells us to share that forgiveness to other person as well. Satan may remind you about your past and he might even make you guilty of what you have done. But you should keep him away by telling that Jesus has washed your sins completely and there is no place for guilt. Next, you must understand that God has a plan for you. He is a creator and He is a father. He has the best plans for you. He knows when to give and what to give you. As I said earlier, I had my bitter experience in the past. God has given me a best person in my life to be the life partner. You must understand that someone who is beautifully created, wise, and the person who loves you and God is waiting for you to be partnered in the covenantal marriage relationship. So surrender your life to God. And next, learn from your mistakes. This is a good opportunity that you can learn from what you went wrong. Did you actually idolize your relationship? Did you actually start worshiping that person? Did you actually drift away from God? Were you actually in a wrong relationship? So retrospect and see what you can actually learn from the circumstances. Next thing is focus on your holistic personal development. So for so many years and months, you have wasted all your time and energy in pleasing the other person, not on God. You not focus on your studies, hobbies, learning music or sports or being involved in church. Now this is a time that God is asking you to come back. Focus on yourself and in serving others. Concentrate on your studies. Go for a trek. Learn a new music instrument. Learn a new language. And so on. You can do so many things. God will give you talents and shape you to be an all-rounder instead of somebody that is only polishing the shoes of a boy or girl that you idolize. And lastly, never be in a hurry to fall again. Getting into a relationship is not the solution. You never know. You might end up being in the same situation again. So give time. Surrender yourself to God and commit to your life. Allow God to do His will in your life. He is more wise and perfect than us, and let Him take control of your life. Wait on Him. Wait on Him. So let me summarize all these points for you. First, it's okay to feel sad and cry. Number 2, God understands what you are going through. Number 3, find a mentor or guide. Number 4, we are worthy in front of God. Number 5, find joy and satisfaction in Jesus. Number 6, forgive the person and yourself. Number 7, God has a better plan for you. Number 8, learn from your mistakes. Number 9, focus on your holistic personal development. Number 10, never be in a hurry and fall again. Guys and girls, I hope this was very useful. and you'll be able to follow these tips whenever you experience rejections and failures and breakups in your life. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.